Go ahead.
Tell me when you're ready, Anthony.
Rolling.
Good?
Yep.
Roger, as an early pioneer in the world of American road racing, give us your take and impressions about those early years and your role in it.
I certainly have some great memories of American road racing, both as a driver in the 50s and early 60s, and the early days of our race team in the 60s and 70s. There was some great competition on the track and some memorable stories and personalities off the track as well. Racing at VIR was part of that excitement as the track was challenging. It always seemed to attract some of the top talent competing in the sport.
Good. Using your own personal experience, expertise, and enthusiasm for the sport, what makes road racing unique and enduring?
I've always enjoyed the challenge. Let me start again. I've always enjoyed the challenge of road racing as a driver. I think you're always looking to test your skills and the limits of the car. Road racing provides a wide range of challenges and opportunities for drivers and teams based on the conditions and the characteristics of that specific track. And that's what makes the discipline so special.
Good. I'll read the question again.
Go ahead.
Was road racing more dangerous in the early years than it is now, and why?
With all the safety innovations and advancement that we've seen in racing over the last few decades, there was certainly more risk and more of an element of danger when I was racing back in the 50s and 60s. To me, the increased safety measures, both in the cars as well as the equipment and the racetracks themselves, has been the most important area of growth for motorsports. The sport now is the safest it has ever been, and we are continuing to work on ways to make it even safer as we go forward.
Perfect. Okay, next question. Tell us about your first experience racing at VIR.
My first race as a driver at VIR was in May of 1959, a long time ago. I drove a Porsche 550 RS in the SCCA National Shrine sports car race. I don't recall many details about the race itself, but we earned a fifth-place finish, and I knew I wanted another opportunity to compete there because it was a challenging and fun track to drive.
Good. Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Going back to the 50s and 60s, take us back to some of the memorable races and characters from the time you competed at VIR.
During my time racing at VIR, we competed against some of the top road racers of that era. Guys like Walt Hansken, Bob Holbert, Peter Revson, and Dick Thompson. We had some great battles in the President's Cup races in the early 1960s. I even raced against Mark Donahue back then at VIR. And of course, Mark went on to drive for our team a few years later and became one of the most accomplished drivers in Team Penske history.
Perfect. Okay, a few more. Do you recall any VIR war stories from either on or off track from the time you raced there?
Probably my greatest memory of racing at VIR was the 1962 President's Cup race. I was driving a Cooper Monaco and we won the pole. I remember it was raining pretty hard throughout most of the race and it was pretty difficult to see. Eventually the rain stopped and over the last 30 or so minutes of the race we had a great battle with Walt Hansken and Bob Holbert for the lead. We ended up winning the race. That was my only victory at VIR, and I definitely had to work hard for that one.
Great, awesome. What distinguishes VIR as a race course?
I think one of the reasons that drivers really enjoy racing at VIR is because the course offers so much. You know, from its elevation changes to its long high-speed straightaways, to its combination of low-speed and high-speed turns. There's a lot you need to get right as a driver at VIR, and with the course following the natural terrain of the Virginia countryside, it's always been a beautiful place to race.
Perfect. Roger, have you moved back to VIR since its resurrection, and if so, when?
After VIR reopened in 2000, our team really only raced at the track since, let me start again. After VIR reopened in 2000, our team really only raced at the track once since that time. Team Penske competed in 2009 Grand Am Series race at VAR with Timo Bernard and Romain Dumas driving a Porsche Riley. It was certainly a different experience to be back at the track compared to when I was there in the 60s, but still a great place to race, and I think a much better experience for the fans.
Okay. Two more questions. From the perspective of a racetrack owner, taking into consideration the high-tech cars and all the advances in racetrack design, what instructions would Roger Penske deliver to the architects that brought back VIR in 1998 to make the track safer and more adaptable to the newer vehicles?
This is the one.
Try it again.
This is the take.
Okay? The team that brought VAR back did a great job with the track. Certainly there were some safety improvements that were made at the facility and changes that were implemented to enhance both competitor and fan experience at VAR, much like our team is doing today at Indianapolis. We're all focused on making sure the fans have a complete and positive experience during the race weekends, and that's hard to achieve.
Perfect. I'll ask the question one more time. Roger, it's been said every road course has its own special qualities. What are those special qualities of VIR?